Hello there, FinnishWarchief here again with another Magic the Gathering video, and today's topic is cards that I love for silly reasons. Now there are a few criteria for this. The card cannot be too powerful. This list is not about cards that I like because they are mechanically strong or because they alter the state of the game in a meaningful way, but more just some silly cards that I like because the art is cool, maybe the mechanic is silly and chaotic, or just cards that I like so much that I include them in my decks whenever the deck's color identity allows it, even if the card just does not make that much sense for the grand picture of the deck. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Now, Bloomburrow was an absolutely adorable set with all of the little cutesy woodland critters being all adorable and cute in the forest floor. And the first card that I want to talk about is from this set. It is Clifftop Lookout, a 1/2 frog scout with reach. When Clifftop Lookout enters, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a land card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. A 1/2 with reach, so can be handy in blocking flyers early on in the game, and, gets a land upon entering. Plus, hey, it's a frog. Okay, I have a soft spot for frogs. The second card I want to show you guys is Decanter of Endless Water from the set Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate. This is a mana rock that I basically like to whack into all of my decks. There are 2 printings of this card, as far as I'm aware, and I love them both. The actual card from the set having the decanter just spewing water all over the room, all of those beautiful water effects going on, just absolutely beautiful art. And the special art version, I believe they call this the parchment style spell scroll art, I think. I love that as well, especially in hollow foil. This one, the grey background almost becomes a mirror. Looks so shiny and pretty. And hey, mechanically, it's a no maximum hand size mana rock. What's not to love? Next up is a classic card, a classic blue card nonetheless, but a very special version of it, Brainstorm, but specifically the Final Fantasy Through the Ages printing of it, Endwalker. Look at that beautiful, gorgeous card, taking the poster of arguably the best Final Fantasy XIV expansion and turning it into a magic card. I include this card, this specific version of it, in all decks of mine that include blue in some way. Just an absolutely beautiful card. I will always have a special place in my heart for Final Fantasy XIV because, well, after all, I met my fiancée in that game, goddammit. And next up we have, from the set Kaldheim, Carter Doomscourge. This is a set that I really enjoyed, mostly due to the Viking themes of it. It really just feels homey to me. I am from the Nordics after all, so I feel a certain connection to this set. And one of my favorite games of all time is The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, and this set, it somewhat feels like bringing Skyrim into Magic without actually being, universes beyond Skyrim. Carter is just a card that I really enjoy. I like the idea of goading, but making a full deck out of it has always felt a little awkward to me, so I suppose I get my fix for it through Carter. It brings some absolute chaos to the table, forcing everyone to attack and more importantly, forcing them to attack someone other than me. Sort of like pseudo-protection from my opponents for 1 round. I have this somewhat toxic habit of tossing him into decks that run black and red, even if it doesn't necessarily make sense to have him in the deck's grand plan. And up next is a card that I enjoy adding into my decks with black in the color identity. It is Reassembling Skeleton. This spooky, scary skeleton will die, and often. Black is a color notorious for having additional costs to sacrifice a creature, for cards such as Village Rites, Diabolic Intent, and Deadly Dispute, just to name a few. And for those occasions, Reassembling Skeleton fits like the horns on my head. He's just fun to toss back and forth between the battlefield and the graveyard, and I like to run one in each of my black decks just in case. Up next, again kind of a sentimental one, we have the card Wedding Ring from the set Innistrad Crimson Vow. A set that I really enjoy because I like vampires in Magic and my fiancée also likes vampires. Innistrad Remastered is one of the sets that she has collected a lot. The mechanic of this card is pretty fun. When it enters, if it was cast, target opponent creates a token that's a copy of it. Whenever an opponent who controls an artifact named Wedding Ring draws a card during their turn, you also draw a card. Whenever an opponent who controls an artifact named Wedding Ring gains life during their turn, you gain that much life. So, essentially, you cast this and you give an opponent another Wedding Ring. Basically, making it so that you two are buddies until one of those artifacts leaves the field. I really like the idea of having like a bounce or copy deck where you just cast this thing multiple times, essentially turning the whole table into one big polycule. I really like that idea. And then the sentimental part of this card, of course, is every relationship, or at least every healthy relationship, in my opinion, should have the conversation of what the future holds for that relationship. Specifically, marriage in this case. When me and my fiancée were having that conversation, I gave her this card and asked her if she will one day marry me. Kind of a pretend proposal, I suppose. And eventually, I got her an actual ring and popped the proper question, hence why I call her my fiancée in my videos. Adventures in the Forgotten Realms was the Dungeons & Dragons tie-in for Magic, and it brought us a lot of cool cards and interesting mechanics. Out of all of those new cards though, my favorite is the simple old prosperous innkeeper. It's just a chill dude, a little halfling innkeeper. The art really gives me that welcoming and cozy vibe. You know, it's raining, you've had a long day of travel behind you, and this innkeeper opens the door to the warm and gentle light of his inn, inviting you in for a warm soup and frothy ale. I actually have been thinking of potentially making a civilians tribal deck with citizens and peasants as the main focus. No legendary warriors, just dudes. And this guy definitely belongs in that deck. Really enjoy this dude. And then we have a card from the Final Fantasy set again. We have the Poo Poo UFO. Do I need to really explain why I like it? Is it not obvious? Well, fine, the name is funny. Poo Poo UFO is a hilarious name, but for me especially for a couple reasons. First, toilet humor, enough said. But second, Poo Poo means bunny in the Finnish language, so I just have a little internal chuckle whenever someone plays this card like he, but that's not a bunny though. Additionally, it is a colorless artifact that basically works in any deck as a simple little ramping tool, just as long as you have a land in your hand. Since it, taps to allow you to put a land onto the field. So, handy little ramping tool for any deck. Then we have, from the Lord of the Rings set, we have Goldberry, River Daughter, and there is a very simple reason for why I like this card, the artwork, and that reason is...
Damn, she thick as fuck.
She... thick. That's why I like it. She thick. Sue me. That's why I like it. Anyway, there we have it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this kind of content, give it a like and give me a sub. I would very much appreciate that. Until next time, Chief out.